What is good? What is good? What is good? FST back talking some Bears football. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video going live for you guys. So, gonna wait for you guys to hop in here. Before I do get started, short week, Thursday night football tomorrow. Short week, Thursday night football tomorrow against the Commanders. And tomorrow could be doomsday. Tomorrow could be Judgment Day. Tomorrow could be the day that decides the fate of head coach Matt Eberflus. It should have already been decided by now, but it could happen tomorrow. What's good? What's good? I see you guys in the comments. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if the audio is good. Hopping on to answer some questions, talk some Bears football, give it a little game preview for tomorrow, and anything else in between. So as I mentioned, tomorrow is doomsday. If the Chicago Bears lose tomorrow, and if they lose in blowout or embarrassing fashion, it should be the end of Matt Eberflus. You won't find a better opportunity to do so. The Bears would fall to 0-5. They'd be on a mini bye week with the short week. Get a little bit more time. And just go ahead and make the change. Do it. Pull the plug. Matt Eberflus brings nothing to the table. Just make the change. And you can still somewhat salvage the season if you do it. You really can, folks, because the Bears, if they lose tomorrow, they'd fall to 0-5. And I know it's a steep hill to climb out of, but we're not exactly in a juggernaut of a division. You reel off some wins and you're right back in it. Again, today on Twitter, I saw people talking about, if we fire Eberflus, who are we going to replace him with? And I see Mr. Mayhem 69, Eberflus. I like that name. 14 straight losses. Very well deserved and very fitting nickname for him. I saw this again on Twitter. Hey, Faiz, if we replace Matt Eberflus, or excuse me, if we fire him, who are we going to replace him with? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Matt Eberflus has lost 14 straight games. You can't do worse. You literally can't. I literally, I don't get the point of it. You can't do worse, right? Literally, a lawn chair. Mr. Red Pillow, I see you with the comment. A lawn chair can do better than Matt Eberflus right now. Just get anybody, elevate any assistant coach, any interim, and they'll do a better job than Eberflus. 14 straight games, people. 3-18. Worst winning percentage in Chicago Bears coaching history. Really? You can't replace that? Oh my God, you want to have a DC and you want to have a head coach. Who cares? We're 0-4. Could be 0-5. Just fire him. Now, as I see people getting in here, appreciate you guys for joining me. Super chat if you guys want your question answered right away. Let's talk about this real quick. I'm in a little bit of a predicament because I want the Bears obviously to win games, and I'm not at that point, people, where I'm rooting for the Bears to lose. No, we're not in tank season at this point. It's too early in the season. Don't talk to me about tanking. I'm rooting for the Bears to win. Now, again, the predicament is the more the Bears lose, the quicker we get rid of Eberflus, right? But the more the Bears lose, the higher chance it is that Justin Fields will no longer be our quarterback next year. And I don't want that. Pedro Morales with the comment here, I agree. I really want Justin to work out with us and not him going to another team. 1,000% agree. So that's the predicament here, right? Is I want the Bears to win games, but I also don't want Matt Eberflus here. Because we know if the Bears lose games, we end up with the number 1 pick, Justin Fields, most likely not going to be here. It's just the reality of the situation. The new coach, maybe new GM, whoever the case may be, they're not going to pass up on Caleb Williams. They just won't do it. And so that's why it's even more important for the Chicago Bears to start winning some games here, because that is what Justin Fields needs for him to remain the Bears starting quarterback next year. The Fiend returns Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison with the new coaching staff would be good. I agree. But I'm not yet out on Justin Fields. So the predicament is, do I want the Bears to win or do I want them to lose? And I got to tell you folks right now, at this very moment, maybe it'll change, but at this very moment right now, before week 5, I want to win. I want to win football games. That's what I want to do. And tomorrow against the Commanders, I'm taking one more shot. Diving in one more time. And I'm thinking the Bears win tomorrow. Barely, but they do. This time they'll kick the field goal. And I think they win. I think just Justin Fields getting that confidence from last week. Justin Fields building off that. DJ Moore having a fantastic game again. By the way, DJ Moore has been an absolute stud for us, man. And I see another big game from DJ Moore tomorrow, by the way. Take his over on his props. It's like 49.5 yards, 48.5 yards. Take that over. He's going to go off. But yeah, I have the Bears winning tomorrow. One more chance here. I'm in for one more time. This could be the start of something, or it could be the end of something. Either way, it'll be one of the two. Last year, against the Patriots, that game changed everything. Could that be the Commanders game this year? Remember last year we played this team and we barely lost. I think Darnell Mooney almost caught a touchdown and we would have beaten them and we barely lost. So that team is beatable. They're not that great. I'm expecting Justin to have another big game tomorrow. And I think the Bears can win. So yeah, if they win, most likely Matt Eberflus won't be fired. In fact, he won't be fired. But right now, to me, I care more about Justin Fields and his progress than anything else. This is a good question right here. Let's talk about this. Prodigy Clutch 05. If Chicago ends up with a 7-10 record, does Flus keep his job? That's a great question. I believe 7-10 means obviously you reel off 7 wins out of your next 13. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? I still don't think it's a lock that he keeps his job. Probably more likely, like if they reel off a bunch of wins at the end of the year and it's like, hey, they went on a 6-7 game win streak, maybe. But I don't think it's 100% likely. So no, I'm going to say no, it's not guaranteed that he keeps his job. Live Like Temperance, bad matchup, Faiz. Look, I broke down the matchup. Go and check it out. I know they have a great defensive line. Deron Payne, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, I got it. But the secondary is weak. Big receivers can beat him up. A.J. Brown went crazy on him last week. So did Stephon Diggs. Why can't DJ Moore do it? Why can't DJ Moore do it? I'm not scared of the Commanders, man. Sam Howell, he's okay. More picks than touchdowns this year. 4 TDs to 5 interceptions. Terry McLaurin's nice. Brian Robinson's solid, but the team doesn't scare me. We can beat them. We can beat them. And so I'm still, again, not rooting for the Bears to lose. I want dubs. All right, let's get to some questions here. Super chat if you want your question answered right away. Michael Baird, what was the primary factor for the loss against the Broncos? Defense, coaching, or poor depth? Coaching. Point blank period. Should have gone for the field goal. They do that, I'm pretty sure they win the game. Prodigy Clutch 05 need to pressure Sam Howell into making mistakes since he's young, but with the terrible Bears defense, we probably won't. Yeah, I agree. You get pressure on Sam Howell. He can run a little bit, but yeah, you should get pressure on him for sure. I agree. Bears really don't get a lot of pressure. So you're just kind of hoping you luck into a couple sacks. We'll see. Peyton McIntosh, don't draft the QB next year. Build around Justin Fives. I agree. I want to build around Justin. But let me tell you guys that the reality of the situation. Let me tell you the reality of the situation here. This question also goes along with what I'm going to talk about. Keep JF1. This is from Nonchalant STU54. Keep JF1. Draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and spend the rest of your picks on the trenches. What would it take for them to do this? Great question. All right. Let me lay out the scenarios for you guys. Again, super chat if you want your question answered right away. Let me lay out the scenario for you guys. If Justin Fields is able to show major progress this year, he's got 13 games to do so. Let's say he finishes with close to 4,000 passing yards, so somewhere between 3,500 to 4,000 passing yards, and throws for 30 touchdowns, which he's on pace to do so, by the way. He throws 30 touchdowns and about 12 to 13 interceptions. I think that's good enough to keep him as the option, as the answer for you at the quarterback spot, and spend the rest of the draft picks on the trenches. I think it's good enough. Now, you, as in the Bears, could win 7-8 games somehow. I'm just saying, let's just assume, and not have the number one pick, but still get the number one pick via the Carolina Panthers. And then what do you do at that point? Still take Caleb Williams? Because I'm telling you, I think that would be good enough. But it's an uphill climb for Justin. He really has to leave little to no doubt he's the quarterback of the future. Little to no doubt. Not saying it's likely. That's what needs to happen. He needs to leave little to no doubt, put up around what those numbers are I told you about. 3,500 to 4,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 to 13 picks, and you could feel good about him being the guy. Then we can invest in the trenches, invest in Marvin Harrison Jr., and go from there. And not worry about taking Caleb Williams. Will that happen? I hope so. Right now, it seems more unlikely than likely. Nigel McWan, 100 yards for DJ, 200 for Justin, 25 for Komet, 40 rush yards for Herbert, over 44.5 points. Yeah, I like all these props, guys. I love prop betting, by the way. If you guys are fans of that as well, please, ask me questions. I can help you guys with that. I would take 100 yards for DJ, 200 for Justin, 25 for Komet is good too. Herbert, 40. Yeah, I like all these. My favorite is probably DJ for sure, and Justin. EV Warrior, LOL at people believe in Justin Fields after one good game. EV, where were you last year? Justin had multiple good games. Do I need to bring up the Patriots game? Do I need to bring up the Vikings game, the Dolphins game? He had multiple good games. Justin Fields is not a rookie. This is not his first season. He's had good games before. So don't give me that. Don't give me that. Mike Epson, do you think this O-line can hold up against the Commanders' pass rush? I hope so. And I think they could. They've been playing pretty well. Nate Davis had a pretty good performance last week, folks. We already know Darnell Wright's a stud, or looks like he's going to be a stud. We get Tevin Jenkins back this week. So really the only person you're missing who was a starter is Braxton Jones. I think they can hold up. Now look, Justin still needs to get the ball out quick, and that's one of the points I talked about in my preview video. I said he needs to get the ball out quick. But yeah, I think they have a chance to hold up against him. But Justin can't hold football too long. That for sure can't happen. That for sure can't happen. Super chat, if you wanted your question answered right away, let's get through a couple more of these here, people. Brady C, who should the interim be? I vote Hightower. Yeah, Hightower, I think, would probably be my number one pick as well. But, folks, it really does not matter. I'm telling you right now. 14 straight losses, 0-4. It's not hard to top what Eberflus is doing. Just get a win. You'll top him. Lucha. It wasn't even a good game. He blew what he did with the fumble and interception. Folks, look. I get it. He had 2 turnovers. The fumble, you'd love to hold on to the football. I blame the play call a little bit there. Free rusher running at you on a bootleg. Luke Getsy's got to be better than that. But yeah, Justin got to hold on to the football. But I blame the play call a little bit more than I blame him. And the interception, miscommunication there. The biggest blunder of the game was the coaching, though, by far. Fields put up 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. You put that up, you usually should win. Sunny days, will we win at least 3 damn games? Side note, need to see Bagent. Interested to see. I am not interested to see Tyson Bagent at all. I'm sorry. Will we win at least 3 games? Yes, I believe so. We've got the Falcons. Well, they're not that bad. But we've got the Panthers, the Cardinals. We got the Vikings. Maybe we can be one of those teams. I think we have the Raiders. We should be able to get 3 wins. EV Warrior, what happens when Fields still loses after all the coaches get fired? When will he be held accountable? He is being held accountable. Justin Fields is absolutely being held accountable. There are conversations being made and had about the Bears drafting Caleb Williams. And I'm telling you right here, right now, that if Justin Fields does not leave little to no doubt about him and his performance and how he is going to be the QB1 for the Bears moving forward, if he does not leave little to no doubt, he will be replaced by Caleb Williams if the Bears get the number 1 pick. How much more do you want him to be held to? Nothing's guaranteed for Fields next year. Literally nothing. Daniel Dragowski, Faiz said he cares more about Justin Fields' progress than Bears winning. Bears fans need psychiatric help. I did not say that. I want both. But yeah, winning football games is more important. So somebody asked when Tevin Jenkins coming back. He should be back this week. Got activated off IR. He should be back this week. Super chat if you want your question answered right away. Why can't we have both? I don't get it. Why can't I have both? Why can't I want the Bears to win and for Fields to do well? We all know that you're going nowhere in this league if you don't have a quarterback. So if you're talking about, hey, would I rather win, 17-14 and Justin Fields look terrible? Like, no, I wouldn't want that. I will give you a scenario here where, let's say this, the Bears are 2-2 and Justin Fields looks like Desmond Ridder does for the Falcons, who are also 2-2, versus the Bears are 0-4. But again, Justin has been balling out all 4 of those games. We lose because of the defense. Yeah, I'm taking the second scenario because that means we have our quarterback. Right now, it doesn't look great. But in that situation, that would mean we have a quarterback. Live light temperance. Everything has to be good around Justin in order for Justin to be good. Not everything. Last year it wasn't. And he was able to rush for the second most yards in NFL history. Now, from a passing perspective, obviously he does leave a lot to be desired. And he can be better than this. But it doesn't all have to be perfect. And let me just be clear about this. There are very few guys. You can count on your fingers how many quarterbacks that you can win with. That you can win because of and not win with. Is audio okay? Maybe I'm speaking too much into the mic. There's very few quarterbacks that you can win because of. Mahomes, Josh Allen, maybe Herbert, Joe Burrow, but he doesn't look like the same quarterback right now. Everyone else needs help. Dak Prescott, need to put a good team around him. Kirk Cousins, put a good team around him. Tua Tagovailoa, put a good team around him. Very few quarterbacks that you can win because of instead of win with. Whoop. Jim Geisman with a super chat. What good is another QB if the O-line still sucks? JF has all the tools to be a great leader. The people are around him to be good. The D cannot stop the run. Faiz, I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you so much. And you make a great point. This is one of the issues here with us, going after Caleb Williams in the draft. I'm not going to fault them for it at all. In fact, I do the same thing, but I'm saying the alarming part about all this is we get Caleb, right? And we get Marvin Harrison Jr. And let's say you're still not good in the trenches. Instead, what if you have built up the trenches? Now you just put the quarterback in there and you should be good to go. One of the reasons Jordan Love has looked decent, I'm not saying he's looked elite by any means, but decent, is because the Packers were good in the trenches. They have good coaching. All the top teams in the NFL right now are excellent in the trenches. Eagles, Niners, Cowboys, all good in the trenches. You got to be good in the trenches. Got to be good. So, yeah, that's all I'm trying to say here. If you are arguing with me that Justin Fields is not good enough to be a top 5 quarterback, yeah, I agree with you. He's probably not going to show that, but he could be in that caliber of quarterbacks that you can win with, which is a good part of the league. And we're just going to have to let things play out. Somebody asked me the other day, they were like, Faiz, would you rather have Justin or Caleb Williams? And I told you guys, and I told them this. I said, look, we have 13 more games before that decision needs to be made. Here are the scenarios at play. There's 3 scenarios in my mind. Okay? Scenario number 1, Justin Fields absolutely balls out for the rest of the 13 games. You have no doubt about the fact that he is your quarterback moving forward. And you go ahead, and even if you get the number 1 pick, you're probably trading it, and you're drafting a receiver like Marvin Harrison Jr. You're building up the trenches, and you're going from there. Second scenario, appreciate the super chat. I'll get to in just a second here. Second scenario, Justin shows he's not the guy, and you draft Caleb Williams, you get the number 1 pick, reset the QB clock. Third scenario, somewhere in between. Justin does okay, decent. You still have questions. Do you draft Caleb at that point? Do you not? You have to see. If you get the number 1 overall pick, probably. I'm going to tell you guys right here, right now. Justin has to leave little to no doubt. If the Bears end up with the number 1 pick, which isn't a lock, Justin has to leave little to no doubt for them to not take Caleb Williams. Super chat, Row World 58. When King Poles trades these picks for more picks and players, he will be king in the North again. Man, could you imagine the haul for trading back-to-back and number 1 overall picks? I mean, my goodness. That would be insane. That would be insane. Appreciate the super chat, man. Again, super chat if you want your questions answered right away. Don't fire Flus. If we do, we might end up winning a few games. Embrace the suck. They're going nowhere. Get the Bears on the clock in January. The problem with that is, last year was supposed to be the tank year. This year was never supposed to be the tank year. Bears fans did not go into this year with the expectation that we were going to tank. So that's where I'm struggling with that part about tanking. Need dubs, we need wins. And by the way, if you're worried about the number 1 overall pick, you still have the Panthers pick. The Bears could win 6-7 games. The Panthers won't. And you could still end up with the number 1 pick. I'm not saying the Bears are supposed to be contenders this year, but they were supposed to progress. Fringe playoff team, maybe. Lucha, killing me that you continue leaving out a Tyson scenario. That's ideal. Look, a lot of Tyson Bagent fans, man. A lot of Tyson Bagent fans. I'm not sure why. Tyson Bagent is a UDFA. If you think he's the next Brock Purdy, I got some oceanfront property to sell you. Obviously, I'm kidding here, but my point is, look, I don't think Tyson Bagent is going to show you anything where you think he's the quarterback of the future. If you want a few games of him at the end of the year when we're out of playoff contention and Justin Fields gets benched because he's not playing well, sure. But you guys got to be trolling, man. I'm sorry. With Tyson Bagent, like, unless this is Tyson Bagent himself asking me these questions, not sure why he's got all these fans. Michael Baird this year was forecast as a 3 to 5 win team, right? No, absolutely not. Full disclosure, I had the Bears winning 8 games. 8 or 9 games. And you might be laughing, but there was a reason for that. Easy schedule. Progress from Justin Fields. Better players. Weak division. All of those things combined, I thought the Bears could turn the team around like that. Yeah, you guys are laughing. I'm telling you, it was not that far-fetched. The team on paper is not an 0-4 team. That's the frustrating part. Applesauce 499 with a super chat. If Justin continues to play as he did in the Broncos game and the offense continues to have success, do we look at a possibility Getsy stays as well? Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Eberflus, I'm a little bit on the fence about whether or not he still stays if the Bears win games or not. But Getsy will if Justin plays well. Because it probably has to do a lot with him. Last week, I gave Luke Getsy plenty of credit against the Broncos. He played a very good game plan. He had some hiccups here and there. Totally get that. Obviously, that fumble on that naked boot with the free edge rusher, that was a terrible play that he already called before, and they read it like a book. But Luke Getsy called a very good game plan last week. He got Justin Fields out in space, play actions, bootlegs, keepers, design runs. He'll stay. He'll stay. Lucha, just want to hit quarterback who has shown basic ability to like pocket presence, field vision, good throwing mechanics, but I guess that's why I give the kid a chance. Justin Fields showed you last week. He can sit in the pocket and deliver. He can do it. Jay Sanders, Justin finished with 28 TDs, 12 interceptions. That'd be pretty solid, man. I'd be pretty happy with that, and I think the Bears would as well. If Justin Fields ends up with those numbers and like 3,500 to 4,000 passing yards, yeah, you're feeling pretty good about that as him as your quarterback of the future. I don't know if you need Caleb at that point. The other reason with Caleb Williams that makes everything so tricky is the reason I'm saying Fields needs to leave little to no doubt is because if there is even a little doubt, they will lean towards taking Caleb because you reset the QB clock. See, that's the problem is with Justin, you got to decide to keep him or extend him soon. With Caleb, you draft him and boom, new QB clock. He's on the QB contract. So that's the problem. Super chat. If you guys want your question answered right away, I appreciate that. Shauna Jackson, we need to stop worrying about getting a QB, build a team around a QB. I'm always torn about this because I think you bring up a good point, Shauna. You're nothing without a quarterback, as in you have no real ceiling. But at the same time, if you have the quarterback, but you don't have the team around him, you have no ceiling either. So it's kind of which one is it, right? Chicken or the egg? Take a look at Matt Stafford all those years with the Lions. They had the quarterback. And we know that now because he went to the Rams and he won a Super Bowl. So we know they had the quarterback, but they never had the right team around him. Conversely, we've had plenty of teams that have had excellent teams. Look at the Jets, but they just can't get the quarterback right. In both scenarios, your ceiling is limited. So it's kind of, I'm torn on that as well. At the end of the day, being a Chicago Bears fan, I would rather have my quarterback just because we have never had one or a great one. We've had really good teams with great defenses, running games, special teams, and coaching, but not a good quarterback at the same time. Actually, we've never had a good quarterback. And don't give me Jay Cutler. So, yeah, that's what it is. Abe goes ham, draft Caleb Williams, and have him and Fields compete. That's not happening. That's not happening. One or the other is on the team. That's it. If we draft Caleb Williams, Justin Fields will no longer be a Chicago Bear. And if Justin Fields is on the team next year, Caleb Williams will not be a Chicago Bear. Coconut Pete, Faiz, how could Poles fail to do his due diligence on Claypool, or did he think he could fix that side of him? Great question. So I think what happened with Claypool is Ryan Poles at that time, and I'll give him credit for this because I was on board with the move, full transparency. At that time, he was so desperate to get a receiver that he was thinking, hey, Claypool, who had a productive rookie year, caught multiple touchdowns, you saw the potential ceiling, and he was like, I could give Fields a weapon here. Let's just go ahead and do it. I got to overpay a little bit. Okay, cool. Hey, Mike Tomlin doesn't want him, but maybe things are just screwed up over in Pittsburgh. Maybe I can fix them. Takes a chance. No GM's going to be perfect, right? You're going to take your chances. Took a chance. I liked it. I liked the chance. Claypool showed potential promise. But ever since he's got here, they've botched the situation. Now, to Claypool's credit, he has also been at fault here. So it just hasn't worked out for both parties. But it's just one of those things where he just felt like he needed a receiver for Justin. So he got one, had to overpay a little bit. He was okay with, but now it's looking like a bad deal. That's what happened. Corey K5, do you think Eberflus will get fired after Thursday's game? I believe Eberflus will get fired after Thursday's game if they get blown out or embarrassed. If they lose, like a close game, I still think he doesn't get fired, and it probably happens at the end of the season. And, of course, if they win, he's not getting fired. Dark Ross, Cutler was good until he came to Chicago. So be it. Never been a fan of Jay Cutler. Applesauce, how does this defense look worse with more talent than last year? Completely agree, man. Overall, how does the entire team look worse with more talent than last year? Last year's team at least had more heart. Like, my goodness. Dave O'Dowd, fast forward, it's April. New coaching staff is here. We have the number 1 and number 2 pick. Are you rolling with Caleb and Marvin Harrison Jr., or are you trading one of the other for a haul with MHJ? All depends, man. All depends. If Fields shows me he's the guy, I'm trading the pick. If he doesn't, and if there's doubt, I'm leaning towards taking Caleb Williams. That one guy, I still think Claypool can be something, maybe not with this team. Yeah, I agree, man. I still think Chase Claypool has some potential. I still think he's got some talent. I still want him to work out with the Bears. Just don't know if it's going to happen. My red pillow poll is starting to get exposed. Ryan Poles has definitely not been perfect for sure, man. The Velus Jones Jr. pick looks terrible. The Claypool trade looks terrible. But he's also had some good moves. I really like the DJ Moore move. I really like the Darnell Wright draft pick. Like, I'm not as out on Poles as I am with Eberflus. But again, Poles did pick Eberflus. Couple more questions here, people. Super chat if you want your question answered right away. Applesauce, appreciate you with the super chat. I haven't been seeing this question raised, but do you believe Edmonds has been effective in the defense so far? If you're talking about Tremaine Edmonds, which I assume you are, he is not. Tremaine Edmonds has left a lot to be desired, folks. Man, we got rid of Roquan Smith because we didn't want to pay him. And at the time, I probably agreed. But Tremaine Edmonds, paying him all that money has not worked out either. So far, he has not looked very good. Not looked very good. Shauna Jackson, there's no way Flus is getting fired. If so, we already would have happened. What will they learn from this game that they haven't already? The reason he has not gotten fired yet, Shauna, is because it's a short week. I know it's a dumb reason, but that's the reason. It's a short week, and so that's why they're keeping him. And then if it goes terribly, I think he gets fired. Peter King talked about it. If we're looking at like a 40-20 loss, if we're looking at something like 30 to, 7, something embarrassing like that. Christopher Johnson, I love JF, but with the game on the line under 2 minutes, can you name one time he has had success? That's a fair criticism. Justin Fields has too many times made mistakes at the end of games. I can actually remember more games that have ended in picks at the end of the year than, him having the game winners. So I can't really disagree with you on that one. Fair criticism. He's got to work on it. He's got to work on it. EV Warrior, will Caleb only come if the Bears can hire Lincoln Riley? No, I don't think so. Wherever he gets picked first, he's going to come there. Point blank, period. So, yeah. If the Bears have the number 1 overall pick, he'll come here. He'll come here. I'm excited, man, for the game tomorrow. Like I said, guys, tomorrow could be doomsday or it could be a good day. We'll see. Could be either one of two things: the start of something or the ending of something. Start of maybe Fields and the Bears going on a little bit of a run here because he's playing well. DJ Moore's playing well. End of something if they lose, get blown out, Eberflus gets fired, Bears clean house, which is also a good thing. Either way, I'm going to be here for it, talking about it. I'll probably go live during the game, so look out for that, man. But I appreciate you guys. I'm going to get on out of here. Had a lot of fun answering some questions, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace.